In this segment of the Grief Share Leader Training video, we dive into a very important topic. We'll be looking at key information you need to communicate to your group members and strategic steps you can take to keep them encouraged and engaged. Most people will come into your group not knowing what to expect or what to do. They'll probably be nervous or uncomfortable about being there. So the first thing that you'll want to communicate is that they are welcome in your group. One way to do this is to welcome them warmly when they arrive. Your leader team should be on the lookout for new attendees and be ready to greet them and guide them through the process of registration, receiving a workbook, and introducing them to other group members. It's best if you have women leaders greet new female attendees and the men on your team make connection with new male group members. There are suggestions in your leader's guide on welcoming guests and new attendees and how to create a hospitable atmosphere in your group. The second thing you can do to help group members acclimate and integrate into your group is to clearly communicate how the group is structured and explain how the Grief Share program works. This will be the primary focus of the remainder of our video. In the process, you will be pointing out the most important parts of the ministry, those that can be the most help to each group member. Let's get started with examples of things you need to clearly communicate to your group members. Our first suggestion is strategic when your group is getting underway and when you have new members joining the program later in the session. Encourage group members to attend at least 3 sessions before deciding to drop out. You'll discover a mix of attitudes among new group members as your program gets underway. Now, many will be excited to be there and will be looking forward to gaining knowledge and growing personally. They will likely stick around for the entire program. But you'll also have other group members that are more skeptical, perhaps doubting whether the material is right for them. Some might feel uncomfortable because they are attending a church-sponsored group and they don't have a spiritual foundation in their lives. Others may simply be shy. By stressing the challenge to make a 3-week commitment, you are potentially preventing dropouts and people who don't return after their initial visit. If a group member will hang around for at least 3 weeks, he or she will begin to appreciate the relevance of the information they are receiving and begin to develop an attachment to the group itself. Now, realistically, you won't prevent all dropouts, but the 3-week challenge will be effective in helping some skeptics commit to staying with your group. And remember, quite often, it is the skeptic who most needs the help found in the Grief Share program. Another very important and strategic thing you'll want to encourage group members to do is to complete their From Mourning to Joy Bible study and journaling exercises found in the Grief Share workbook. If you fail to emphasize this material, group members may assume that the workbook exercises aren't important. And if that becomes their attitude, they'll miss out on what God's Word has to say for those who are suffering. Plus, the From Mourning to Joy section of the workbook features in-depth stories from grieving people who are profiled in the Grief Share videos. So if your group members don't complete this material, they'll never find out the amazing ways that God helped these people rebuild their lives. One important way you can encourage group members to complete the weekly From Mourning to Joy exercises is to be very enthusiastic about this material yourself as you lead the weekly discussion about it. Now, obviously, that means that you need to be familiar with the exercises yourself. But the most important thing is the enthusiasm you convey about the From Mourning to Joy material. If you are genuinely enthusiastic, it will be contagious. As group members see how biblical principles have practical application in the issues they are facing, they'll be motivated to keep up with the From Mourning to Joy material. The next thing you'll want to encourage your group members to do is to understand and follow the guidelines you establish for your group. Now, this is important because you want your Grief Share group experience to be comforting, not chaotic. And to create a calm and friendly environment, review the group guidelines with your members. That way, everyone in your group will be working from the same playbook when it comes to how you interact with one another. In addition to other things, sharing these tips can keep group members from cutting one another off during discussion, prevent your group from becoming a place where people look for a date, and keep what's shared in the meetings from being spread outside the group. We suggest you review these guidelines multiple times during the course of your 13-session cycle. This way, new members will be exposed to the guidelines, and existing members will receive helpful reminders. There is a broad list of guidelines included in each Grief Share workbook. You'll probably want to create a more detailed set of guidelines with information specific to your group and your church to distribute to group members. Your Leader's Guide has more information on how to prepare these guidelines for your group, and there are examples you can look at by visiting the Leader Zone online. Next up, a very important thing you'll want to communicate to participants. Encourage your group members to look for similarities, not differences, in their circumstances compared to other members of the group. Here's why. Your Grief Share group will likely be made up of a diverse group of people. As we discussed earlier, some will be in the early stages of grief. Others will be months, even years removed from the death of their loved one. You'll see a range of ages. Some will have children, others not. Most importantly, you'll see a range of losses. Some will be grieving the death of a spouse. Others have lost a child, a parent, or a friend. That sounds like a pretty diverse mix, doesn't it? Because of this wide range of backgrounds, encourage your group members to focus on the things they have in common as opposed to the things that make them different. All have experienced significant loss and are hurting as a result. Emphasizing this bond can prevent cliques from starting in your group or the natural tendency to think that a particular type of loss is deeper than another. Group members will learn that all grief is unique and that the common thread that binds your group together is that each member has experienced a significant loss. That's our list of the key things you'll want to encourage group members to do throughout the Grief Share program. Regularly reminding them of each of these will make your group experience more enjoyable and productive. We've talked about what you can do to make your group members more comfortable. What about you? Perhaps you're nervous about leading a group, or you're wondering what you'll do if things don't go as planned. For instance, how would you respond if someone in your group dominated the discussion? Or if no one in your group talked? What would you do then? Well, we'll address those scenarios and more in the fourth and final segment of the Grief Share Leader Training video.